I can't believe this. Hi, guys. I've been sitting here for 20 minutes talking. Talk about Rusty. I can't believe this. The go live button mustn't have worked because I was sitting here playing with it thinking, why doesn't it say live at the top? What's happening? And why aren't you guys chatting? And then I just read your comment, Jackie, well, may as well go outside for a smoke while I wait. And I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God, I am so sorry. Hi, Twiggy. Oh, that's a bit better. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Talk about, oh my God. You are still the same, Sharon. Oh my God, I can't believe that. I cannot believe I've sat here for actually 18 minutes telling you guys this big story that's happened. Oh my God, I'm really good. Thanks, Brandy. Oh my God. Look, I was sitting here thinking, normally it says live up the top and how many people are in here. And I went to my studio. I'm like, nah, that looks fine. I've come back over here. I'm like, why isn't anyone commenting? This is just maybe everyone decided that they're sick of me not coming live often enough. Oh dear. I'm so sorry I made you guys wait. But I really was here chatting for 18 minutes. I told you it's a whole crime story that's happened to me in the last week. It was so good. Hi, Dragon. How are you? Oh, thank you, Jackie. It's nice to hear your sweet voice. I don't know about sweet at all. But, yeah. At least you can hear me now. I swear, I did the same thing I always do. I hit the little countdown thing and then I pressed go live. But I mustn't have pressed go live good enough. You're okay, Dragon? That's good. And I'm glad you're feeling so much better too, Jackie. I've missed you all. And Twiggy, I'll get your box in the post office this afternoon. I promise. I know you said you had a cold, Brandy. Are you feeling any better tonight for you? It's freezing here. I told you guys how cold it was here, and I sat here talking about the aircon heater I just turned on, and if it's noisy, I can turn it down. But it's a thermostat one, so it goes sort of full blast until the room gets to whatever temperature you've got it set on. But I don't think it's too bad. No one told me that it was too noisy when I was sitting there talking to myself. So, oh, you need to make an appointment and go, Brandy. Please. It could turn into something worse. Here's the pot calling the kettle black. I'm always on hubby and family and friends. Go to the doctor now before it gets to your lungs and things like that. And I'm the worst for not going to the doctor. Yeah, it's not good. You better, because I will check. I will be in your inbox saying, have you been to the doctor yet, Brandy? Yeah, it's really, really chilly here today. I think it's like 13 degrees Celsius. So I'm sitting here on my lounge with a blanket and deciding whether to light the fire or not. Yeah, lucky you did. That's when I realised, Jackie Jude, that something definitely wasn't right. Hi, Grammy. How are you? Thank you for coming in. Yeah, so I've already told you guys this story once, but I'll briefly go over it again. So my stepbrother's two boys, one's 24, one's 18. I don't and haven't had um, much to do with my stepbrother since his early 20s when he got himself into substances and stuff. So I've never really had a lot to do with his family whatsoever, but they live in the same town and we say hi and things like that. But yeah, we just keep to ourselves. And last week, hi Libby, how are you? Thanks for coming in. So last week, he's got two sons, three daughters. The two sons are heavily addicted to ice, meth, and have a lot of bad things happening. They burnt one of their druggo friends' houses down. That's when it sort of started. Then they went on a week-long crime rampage of stealing 8 vehicles and running riot all over town, which was intense. They stole one of my bestie's son's utes, and for a small town of 7,000 people to have all this going on, like geographically it's a small little town, but everyone knows everyone, and usually we know the name of everyone's dogs. It's that small, you know what I mean? So when you have highway patrols doing car chases around the streets, everybody knows what's going on. So when they stole my bestie's son's vehicle, my daughter and I, my daughter started it. She lives one street away from me, and she's messaged me and she's like, Mum, there's a car chase down my street. So Layla and I jump in the car and we go looking, and we seen all the coppers. We call them coppers here in Australia, or policemen. They were flying around. They had spotlights and everything, and we're relaying what is going on to my bestie. And hubby had gone for beers, and we passed him on his way home, and he said, what the hell are you two doing? And I said, we're trying to find the car thieves and stuff. And he said, get your ass home now. And I'm like, no, just 10 more minutes. I said, but do me a favor, I've got tea on the stove, just give it a stir. Anyway, there ended up that night being like 6 unmarked police cars, highway patrols, which are never in town permanently. They just sort of come for the day or night, and then they go back to whatever town they come from, plus our local police. And they didn't catch him, so it was still going on the next day. And they went to, where we go to the fabric shop, to Cootamundra, that half-hour little drive road trip we did. So they took my bestie son's ute to that town and dumped it half an hour away and stole another vehicle. But what do the dumbasses do? They drove straight back here again. So it's on again. But they split up. So the 18-year-old ended up getting caught that day because he fell asleep in that stolen vehicle. But the other brother's gone and stolen another vehicle, and he's still on the loose. So this went on for 3 further days, trying to capture the older guy, the 24-year-old. And to cut a long story short, we were out. So we've got 2 bathrooms. One's at the back of the house and one's off our bedroom. And I was in the bathroom at the back of the house. Hubby's in the living area on the desktop computer. And I heard the highway patrol take off. And I'm like, the highway patrol just took off down Victoria Street. So hubby jumps in the car. He goes for a look. He's gone for about 15 minutes. He comes back. He said, they've got him. And I said, oh, really? And he goes, yeah, they're in such and such a street. So I let the bestie know, let my daughter know they've got him, they're in Crowley Street, it's all good. And then my daughter rings me back and she says, nah, Mum, he's took off on foot. So what happened, as the young fella's gone round the corner, he stopped because he knew the coppers were right behind him. So as the police car come up behind him, he reversed straight into the back of him to set off the airbags. So then the police guy couldn't get out of the car as quick, so it gave the young guy time to take off on foot, which he did. So by this stage, Shelby's out driving around, as well as his parents, because his parents want to flog the shit out of him, because now both their sons are going to be locked up, and they weren't happy, as would no parent ever. So Shelby comes back and picks Layla and I up, and we go down and see where the police car was rammed and stuff. And we're sleuthing around in the quiet area of town where a normal person would probably go to hide. Hi, Haigh. And we find out that there's something going on in the main street. So we drive down the main street. We pass both his parents in different vehicles that are doing the same. And all these people were like on the footpaths looking down towards the north side of the main street. As we get closer, as we've come up onto where they've caught him, okay, so then when he took off on foot, he then went and stole somebody's push bike, and they've caught him in the main street and tackled him off the push bike. He's now face down on the road, in the middle of the road. There are now hundreds of people gathered around, and we're like 50 foot from where they've got him on the ground. His mother comes flying up the footpath, trying to get to him to go off a tree, and the police officer pushes her away, so she lands on a bum. Then his father and sisters pull up, and then the people that they stole all the cars off, then they turn up. So there's like 20 people trying to get to this bloke to knock his head off his shoulders for everything he's done in the last week. And it was crazy. They were putting people in handcuffs left, right, and center. It was just so much. Yeah, it was. We videoed it, but it was. It's not something I'll play on here, out of respect for the local people and things like that. But yeah, it was. You have bronchitis, Brandy. So that was my excitement, and it was just day and night for like 5 or 6 days in a row. Things like that do not happen around here normally. Like rarely ever do we have things like that. And even without sirens blaring, you could hear these high-powered highway patrol vehicles. They sounded like jet boats taking off, and they were just everywhere. Like we might have, the odd car chase here and there. Nothing like that. It was like finding Where's Wally type thing. But I worry about Shelby and her wife, because I know it sounds sexist. I had this conversation with her yesterday. Because there's no adult male with them, you feel like they're more vulnerable. And Shelby goes, Mum, you do not need to worry. I have a hockey stick and oh my God, but I do worry. But she's got a Ring doorbell and stuff now, so yeah, all of you guys, are you not well either, Hurricane? It's heading into flu season over here now. Hi, Duchess. How are you? Now, the case I want to talk about, I actually sat here crying for an hour this morning after I dropped Layla at school. It came up on our national news the other day that about this case that I'm going to show you in a second, and instantly I got goosebumps. I couldn't believe I've never heard of this case or cases, and it's actually 45 minutes away from where I live. It's 20 years old. Amber's been missing for 20 years this year, but there was a coronial inquiry after the 10-year mark, and they deemed that she died by homicidal violence. Oh, Twiggy, you just get your seatbelt ready, because this guy, I swear to God, it's the most disturbing. I cannot believe that he's still walking around free 40 minutes from where I live. It's crazy. Really, really. Anyway, I'm going to I'm probably going to get a copyright strike for this, but I don't care at all, because I think, like, I could have went through this story, because I've just listened to a couple of podcasts which have virtually narrated this clip I'm going to show you guys. And I could do that and not get a copyright strike, but I want you guys to see the visuals of it without me just narrating like a podcast. I think you'll get it. You'll get a better sense of why I'm so emotional about it if you watch it for yourself. So I'm happy to get the copyright strike for it. It doesn't bother me at all. But this needs to get out there. The good news side of it is, when they announced a couple of days ago, I did share the Channel 7 story about it, and that's how I found out about it. I'm sorry, my throat is so scratchy. So there was a $100,000 reward for the last 19 years, and the Australian government have just raised it to $1 million reward to get it out there again, which it has, and they have revamped. So they're going to, the Sydney detectives are back in Young today and Harden and the local area, and they're going hard on the case again. So I think you guys will find it as disturbing as I did, and unbelievable that it hasn't been solved. I'm just going to share the screen, share audio. It's crazy. Really crazy. So this is the clip I'm going to show you guys. Is from 2009. Look at his head. Robert Gibbs. That's him and his wife. Anyway, we'll play it, but I'll mute out while it's playing.
Jeeves, how two women he dated ended up dead or missing, he'd probably tell you it's just bad luck. If you ask his girlfriends' families, or even his own son, they'd tell you there's more to it. Tonight, Robert Jr. opens up about his father's dark past in one of the most jaw-dropping interviews you'll ever see.
Hi there, Lauren Goldman from A Current Affair. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Amber Haig's disappearance.
You would?
Yes, I'd have a lot of questions to ask you, in fact.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I've got nothing to say.
When I was younger, he didn't really have a lot to do with me. It was mainly when I got older, and from what I understand with that is because I was starting to bring girls home.
This is the very first time Robert Jeeves Jr. is speaking about his father.
It was sort of hard knowing that I was too small to do anything, and you could see what was happening, but you couldn't do anything about it.
Many accusations were levelled at you.
There was a lot of accusations levelled at me.
Robbie's always suspected there might be more to 3 tragic and mysterious events.
Did you fear your father?
He's pretty violent. He always has been. And he's even worse when he drinks.
Robert Jeeves Sr. has lost 2 girlfriends. One is dead, another missing without a trace.
She deserved a better life, yes. And some mongrel has taken my daughter's life away.
So it's close to
Tonight,
15,
Robbie breaks
15,
his
16 years
silence on his
Um,
father.
The first time the police come and see me, I knew that there would have been some involvement of his. I knew right from the start.
It's been 15 years. I was just hoping you might have something to tell us, some new information.
Amber Haigh was just 18 years old and vulnerable. She was Robbie's neighbour and his girlfriend. They were young and their relationship was innocent.
Amber moved away. She moved to Mount Isa with another relative. And I used to ring her up every night. And then she started talking to my dad on the phone.
My dad wants to talk to you.
Yeah. Amber.
And I told her that, she's miles away. So, we're breaking up pretty much. And I got with another girl. And my dad kept talking to her on the phone.
It wasn't long before Robbie was told Amber would be moving in.
So I spoke to my mother about it. And her reply was, you know what your father's like. So, yeah, he gets his way no matter what.
What was your father's relationship like with Amber?
Well, I thought she was just living there, just boarding in the spare room or whatever. That was my understanding of it. And yeah, then Amber ends up pregnant, and I still didn't really believe that it was his, but obviously I was wrong.
How did Amber see her relationship with your father?
She was obviously taken advantage of, but I also think that she might have thought she had a relationship too. She was a little bit naive in what was going on, from what I can see.
She told some people here that she was scared and that he was tying her up. She showed my cousin Jackie the marks around her wrist where he was tying her up. Johnny Marge. Yeah.
Rosalind is Amber's mother.
If I had my time back, I wouldn't have sent her down here. I wouldn't have, no.
I just wanted to say Amber apparently had epilepsy, and this is her mum who is on screen now, Rosalind Wright. She had issues, or whatever her issues were. I haven't fully looked into everything just yet, but for some reason, Amber, her daughter, was in and out of the foster care system growing up. But as she got older, she would go and spend time with Rosalind, her mum. And as well as epilepsy, Amber had an intellectual disability. And in one article I was reading, they said that mentally she was very slow, as in she sort of had the intellect of a 13-year-old when she was 19. So she was even more vulnerable and naive and not mature enough to probably be able to see what someone older could see that was not a real good choice. And that just broke my heart even more, to know that these animals have targeted her. But as it goes on, I think they should have talked about that side of it at the beginning, because it would be easier to understand how she come to be living with these people. Yeah, and you see it all the time, don't we? Like case after case. But yeah, we'll keep going.
I would have kept her with me.
Roslyn had moved Amber from Western Sydney to live with her relatives in Young, a small country town in central west New South Wales. Amber suffered from epilepsy and had an intellectual disability. Her mother thought it was the best place for her.
She loved it. I spoke to her on the phone and she said, oh, it was, it was really nice, that she loved it here. Yeah, she did.
But it wouldn't last long. 5 months after Amber gave birth to the son she had with Robert, she disappeared without a trace.
Amber was allegedly taken to Campbelltown and dropped near a railway station. We have evidence that an ATM card was used at an ATM nearby.
Robert and Anne Jeeves were last to see Amber before she disappeared. What do we know about their movements that day?
Information from Mr. and Mrs. Jeeves is that they dropped her there, and from what we can tell, that's the last time that she's had contact with anyone.
Inspector David Cockram and Detective Sergeant Keith Price have led the investigation into Amber's disappearance since she went missing in 2002.
Did Amber make it to the train station?
We can't confirm that she did.
The Jeeves say Amber was going to visit her father at Mount Druitt Hospital. They drove her 300 kilometres from just out of Young to Campbelltown train station. That's a 3-hour drive. From Campbelltown, Amber was to travel the short distance to Mount Druitt.
If he was taking you somewhere, he would take you to where you're going. So I don't believe for a second that he dropped at a railway station.
Robert Jeeves had a worrying past. His previous girlfriend, Janelle Goodwin, also met a tragic and suspicious death. She was shot at point blank range, her body discovered in a shed here at the back of the Jeeves property.
She was left in a wheelbarrow for 2 days, and my dad went into the Hutton police station 2 days after it happened.
Janelle was 29 years old. Her body was discovered naked, her ankles bound to her throat, wrapped in a sheet and dumped in a wheelbarrow. The date was June 21st, 1993.
From what I've seen in the reports and everything, they didn't find a bullet casing, they didn't find fingerprints on anything. It was all cleaned. From what the police told me, it was the best cleaned crime scene they'd ever seen.
Robert Jeeves confessed to putting Janelle's body in the shed. He said they had been playing with a rifle. They were drinking, they argued, struggled, and Janelle accidentally pulled the trigger. She was pregnant at the time. Jeeves was charged with Janelle Goodwin's murder, but police later dropped that charge. Robbie's mum, Anne, took Robbie to stay with his auntie 3 hours away, but his father's involvement in Janelle's death would haunt him forever.
Before that happened, I'd have birthday parties and nearly my whole class would come. After it happened, I didn't have birthday parties because no one had come to them. So
it wasn't the first time Jeeves faced serious charges. Several years earlier, in 1986, police had knocked on his front door on the hunt for 2 missing girls.
From what I understand, he picked them up from a school in Young. I don't know why he picked them up. I don't know if they wanted to be picked up.
They were only 13 years old and at the centre of a statewide search. Police found the schoolgirls hidden in a wheat silo on the Jeeves property. Why they were there remains a mystery.
Do you think those 2 teenage girls wanted to be there?
One of them, from what I understand, didn't want to be there. She was a young blonde-haired girl, and yeah, I remember her pretty well.
There were some allegations made by those girls, or at least one of those girls, about the conduct with Robert Jeeves and some allegations of some sexually related offences.
It was the girl's word against Robert's. The charges were dropped, and again, Jeeves was cleared, serving just 100 hours of community service for hindering police.
3 times Robert Jeeves has been at the centre of allegations, and 3 times he's walked free.
At this stage, Mr Jeeves has escaped conviction for numerous matters. You're right, there's been various allegations that he's been involved in certain activity, but ultimately, at the end of the day, he's yet to be convicted of those serious matters.
My father seems to be the main sort of man in all these things, doesn't he? You know, every sort of 10 years or so, there's some other sort of.
It's crazy. Can you believe this guy has never been held accountable? Janelle, he shot point blank, put her in a wheelbarrow in the shed, tied her neck to her ankles, and left her there for 2 days before he decided to go and tell the police that it was an accident. And yeah, mate, sure. And then he still walks at the end of the day. I just cannot get my head around it. Guy is the one who has done this. So sad. How is it that these types of trashy people get to walk the streets and get away with murder? Well, hopefully not for too much longer, Betty Jo. I'm hoping with this $1 million reward and naked. Oh my God. Exactly, Twiggy. And from what I've found out, his father and mother still live in Young at that property. It's just so disturbing that he is still walking around. 2 13-year-old girls held captive in a wheat silo, and he gets 100 hours community service. And there's no, like, I can't believe that they didn't do rape kits and look into it more. I just do not understand. Hi, little dove. How are you? Yeah, I'm good. I hope you're going well. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, we're glad you're here too. Yeah, I know I've got to keep stopping, but they're going to strike me anyway, so. But this is a really thorough story. They've done a great job.
Pretty major things surrounding women or girls.
When Amber went missing, police came knocking once again, but this time on Robbie's door.
I just told him everything I knew, and for a little while it was like I was the main suspect. The first time the police come and see me, I knew that there would have been some involvement of his.
Why did you know immediately?
Because of the whole Janelle thing and his history.
Yes, he's involved in the disappearance of Amber as far as investigation goes.
Robert Jeeves was questioned in relation to Amber's disappearance. Police also decided to reopen the investigation into Janelle Goodwin's death. A specialist in human movement found Janelle couldn't have reached the rifle herself due to her body mass. Robert Jeeves was again charged, but acquitted of murder by jury. An inquest into Amber's disappearance found she died of a homicide or other misadventure, but couldn't say how or by whom? Robert Jeeves refused to answer questions on the grounds it would incriminate him.
Do you think your parents may have had an agenda with Amber?
We had an argument at my house one day about the whole thing, and she said, "Have you ever heard of a surrogate mother?" about Amber, and that's obviously the reason that they had her around.
No, Amber would never, knowing Amber, would never say, "Here's my baby" to him.
It took Robert Jeeves 2 weeks to report Amber missing. CCTV from the railway station is only kept for 7 days.
I've never had a conversation with him. He's never rang me up and asked, was Amber there when she went missing? Never spoke to me at all about anything. I think he's got away with a lot, too much.
It's been 15 years since Amber disappeared. Her body has never been found, and questions remain unanswered. We tracked the Jeeves down, and we found them in this rural, isolated pocket, just minutes down the road from the farm where Janelle died, where the missing girls were found, and where Amber lived with them.
Robert Jeeves, Lauren Goldman from A Current Affair. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Amber Haig's disappearance.
You would?
Yes, I'd have a lot of questions to ask you, in fact.
I'm back. Sorry, guys, I got completely booted. The whole laptop just shut down. That is crazy. Hang on, I've got to share screen again. Goodness me. Where were we? think we were like
would haunt him forever.
Before
Of some sexually related offences.
It was the girl's word against Roberts. The charges were dropped, and again, Jeeves was cleared, serving just 100 hours of community service for hindering police.
3 times Robert Jeeves has been at the centre of allegations, and 3 times he's walked free.
At this stage, Mr Jeeves has escaped conviction for numerous matters. You're right, there's been various allegations that he's been involved in certain activity, but ultimately, at the end of the day, he's yet to be convicted of those serious matters.
my father seems to be the main sort of man in all these things, doesn't he? You know, every sort of 10 years or so, there's some other sort of pretty major things surrounding women or girls.
When Amber went missing, police came knocking once again, but this time on Robbie's door.
I just told him everything I knew, and for a little while, it was like I was the main suspect. The first time the police come and see me, I knew that there would have been some involvement of his.
Why did you know immediately?
Because of the whole Janelle thing and his history.
Yes, he's involved in the disappearance of Amber as far as investigation goes.
Robert Jeeves was questioned in relation to Amber's disappearance. Police also decided to reopen the investigation into Janelle Goodwin's death. A specialist in human movement found Janelle couldn't have reached the rifle herself due to her body mass. Robert Jeeves was again charged, but acquitted of murder by jury. An inquest into Amber's disappearance found she died of a homicide or other misadventure, but couldn't say how or by whom. Robert Jeeves refused to answer questions on the grounds it would incriminate him. Do you think your parents may have had an agenda with Amber?
We had an argument at my house one day about the whole thing, and she said, "Have you ever heard of a surrogate mother?" about Amber, and that's obviously the reason that they had her around.
No, Amber would never, knowing Amber, would never say, "Here's my baby" to him.
It took Robert Jeeves 2 weeks to report Amber missing. CCTV from the railway station is only kept for 7 days.
I've never had a conversation with him. He's never rang me up and asked, was Amber there when she went missing? Never spoke to me at all about anything. I think he's got away with a lot, too much.
It's been 15 years since Amber disappeared. Her body has never been found, and questions remain unanswered. We tracked the Jeeves down, and we found them in this rural, isolated pocket, just minutes down the road from the farm where Janelle died, where the missing girls were found, and where Amber lived with them.
Robert Jeeves, Lauren Goldman from A Current Affair. I'd like to ask you a few questions about Amber Haigh's disappearance.
You would?
Yes, I'd have a lot of questions to ask you, in fact.
Really?
Yes.
Well, why don't you ask the police?
I've asked them, they've answered theirs, and now I'm here to ask you some questions.
Well, I've got nothing to say.
Well, many accusations were levelled at you.
There's a lot of accusations levelled at me.
I'm curious to know what you think of those accusations. I'd like to hear your side of the story.
Well, I've got nothing to say to you. Simple, so move along.
We are going. It's been 15 years. I was just hoping you might have something to tell us, some new information.
Bye-bye, off you go.
Why didn't you answer any questions at the inquest?
Off you go.
We're leaving. 15 years on, it appears Robert Jeeves still doesn't have anything to say.
Does your father know more than he's letting on?
He does. I'm sure he does.
Robbie doesn't want to return to his parents' home, but Rosalind and her sister Joanne have come back on the hunt for answers.
Rosalind, you were quite afraid to come and walk up and down this street, weren't you?
Yes, very nervous. Yes, it's in my mind. It's where Amber was. I think, is she here somewhere, buried here somewhere? Am I walking past her? It's butterflies in the stomach.
I believe she's here. I do. I believe she's here, somewhere here.
It's hard to go to a place where you think your daughter's been murdered there.
Yeah, I think this place here holds a lot of dark secrets. And I'm sure somebody does know something.
Spent a fair bit of time with.
For two people who share the same name and the same blood, Robert Sr. and Robert Jr. are nothing alike.
I never wanted to grow up being like my father. I got a lot more respect for women and people in general, and myself. And I take a lot of pride in how I am now, and I sort of distance myself from the whole situation, and I'm happy like that.
While Amber's case has gone cold, it's not closed.
Someone may have information out there that could progress the investigation further.
I still think there's people involved, perhaps directly, that probably need to come forward and talk to us.
I want Amber brought back. I want to put to rest. It's very hard. You can't rest because you don't know where she is. You go somewhere and you're wondering, is she not far? Is she, where is she? They've hurt my baby, they've hurt someone as beautiful as Amber and got away with it.
Robert Jeeves Sr. has always denied any wrongdoing on his part in relation to the incidents referred to in that story. A $100,000 reward is on offer to anyone who can help solve Amber Haig's disappearance. If you have any information that could assist police, please call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. That's 1800 333 000. And our producers were Natalie Clancy and Lulu Harrison.
It's a lot, isn't it? I'm just so angry that this guy has got away with so much and is still free walking around. But how about his son? So Amber's baby that was 6 months old when she disappeared is now 20 and is half brother to his son. So the Robert Jeeves Jr., who was just on that interview, is the baby's half brother. And how does his wife how does a wife do that? Let a girlfriend move in and know what's going on and be fine with it? I know, Jackie Jude. I literally want to go and get some cadaver dogs and go for a little drive. I could be there in 40 minutes. I feel that strongly that. So that interview we just watched was 5 years ago. It's now 20 years ago since she disappeared. And this week, they've just raised that reward to $1 million from what was $100,000 reward. And there are detectives as we speak in Young and Hardin and interviewing people and going back over it all. I just can't believe. I would love to trace down the two 13-year-old girls. Like, they could have information. Like, Amber's mother said that at the beginning of that interview that she has relatives that had spoken to Amber, and Amber had said that he ties her up. Isn't it weird that Janelle Goodwin, when they found her in the wheelbarrow in the shed, her feet were tied to her neck? The two young girls had marks of being tied up. Like, there's so many similarities. It's a shame that people like this walk around like nothing has ever happened. It makes me want to start going to their homes. And I know, do you know what I was thinking, Betty Jo? I wonder if Molly Golightly would come to Australia. I'd go and protest out the front of that farm, I can tell you right now. Yeah, exactly, Twiggy. I just want to go. I've never wanted to, like, go real life and be on something, like, actually really, really go there and kick up a ruckus. It's not my thing normally, but come on. I've just come outside. I need a cigarette. You might not ever be seen again if you went there. I don't understand how I've never heard about it. I swear. Please do not start. So them girls were 13 at the time, so they would be 33 now. But you're never ever going to know their names because they were minors at the time and that sort of thing. But I'm going to be digging like I've never dug before, don't you worry. And if I have to do it, they give away quite a bit in that interview on the location of where that house was too. So it wouldn't be hard to find the actual property where they live in now. And they said it was only a couple of minutes away to where the property was that they found Janelle and the girls, etc. But the thing I don't get is, why would they drive Amber 3 hours away? So they've driven from Young to Campbelltown, which is a suburb on the outside of Sydney. Shh. Please don't. So she could catch a train to Mount Druitt, which is half an hour by car from Campbelltown. Now, why would they stop at Campbelltown and not just keep going the other half an hour drive? Like, nothing makes sense about that story. Nothing. If she was going to do that, why didn't she just hop on hop on a bus or something from Young and go the whole way. I don't understand. Yeah, absolutely, Betty. I'd take you up on that. I just want people to share it out and make a bit of noise, because I'm sure if there's enough noise, like this arsehole seems to think he's invincible and he's got away with it for 20 years and that's the end of it. No, not happening. So we have, I don't know if you guys in America have them, but here we have local buy, swap, sell, trade type Facebook groups. And I'm a member of the Young, Harden, like that whole area, because it's so close to me. So I'm going to be trying to source out information through people in those groups as well, because people will talk. Yeah, I feel she is too, Jackie Jude. Absolutely, I do. But on another, where is it? Tomorrow I'll play another podcast I found on the story. So she went to Young to move in with this married couple and their son, the Greaveses. But she also did some work. Young, if you Google it, Young, New South Wales is the cherry capital of Australia. So they have cherry orchards everywhere. And apparently she was cherry picking on the properties surrounding Young before she had the baby. And he was a fruit picker as well. So I wouldn't be surprised. On the podcast, it said that on the property he had mulches and things like that. So they weren't sure whether. Wouldn't you think they would have tested these mulching machines and really dug in deep? But then on the other hand, I think about rural police departments 20 years ago. They weren't overly resourceful. You know, they were pretty, well, to this day, they probably still are, you know, just basic police forces, aren't they? You have visiting detectives and things like that, but they're not in-house and on the ground on a daily basis. So there's just so many things that you think, why wasn't this done? Why wasn't that done? And it just makes me so sad and angry at the same time. Oh, yeah, Betty. And I think people are just probably scared to death of the animal. But if you go in a group, he can't do much to a group of people together. Hi, Miss Justice. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I only scheduled it like an hour in advance. And then for those of you that come in later and didn't even see what I did, I thought I was live and I sat here talking for 20 minutes before I realized I hadn't hit the go live button. And Jackie Jude, I was sitting here thinking, geez, it's not even showing anyone's in here. What's going on? So I was sitting here all paranoid thinking, my God, everyone hates me. Nobody likes me. They're not even going to come into my live anymore. And I was sitting here all sad because I had no people in here before I realised I wasn't even live yet. Jackie Jude put a comment, oh, I'm just going to have a cigarette while I wait. And I'm like, what? That's when I realised I wasn't live. It was actually 18 minutes. I sat here talking. But yeah, I just want to go there. And if they're not living on the property, it looked pretty desolate 5 years ago. What are they going to do? Lock me up for trespassing? When I get off here, I know I'm out of practice, but school went back yesterday, guys, so I'm back on track. Yeah, I'm going to do it, Libby. I swear to God. I messaged Shelby this morning and told her, my daughter, my youngest, she's into this true crime stuff as well. And I told her to watch this live, to watch the interview. You going to Ben Hill? Oh, Miss Justice, I am still planning to come for Megan Boswell's trial. And Penny thinks I'm hilarious, but I'm deadly serious. So if I don't know that I'm interested in actually going to Ben Hill, though. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything left to be seen on Ben Hill, to be honest. Maybe I think a lot of people need to go to Ben Hill, and I think the Wellses should let people on Ben Hill. I know, Miss Justice, I know you're kidding. But I wonder if you can hire cadaver dogs and their trainers to come and search somewhere. Betty Jo says after her eye surgery, she's thinking of going to kick Candace's ass until she tells me where Summer is. I'd be in that for sure. Betty Jo, she's gorgeous, isn't she? I love her wit. Yeah, I'm just trying to see this other one. There's another. Stop sharing. I'll put the link in the chat for that. And I'll put in this. I think it's already in the description. But I'll put it in the chat as well. But I know they're going to. No, I'm not getting no warrant, Twiggy. It's I'm not getting a warrant. I'm not doing no shit. They can just arrest me for trespassing. I really don't care. Scott E. Skulls drew a picture on a live earlier, start to finish, of the Wells house. He is so talented. The picture has Summer on the swing. Oh, really, Dutchie? You need to pop your link in the chat too, Dutch. Pretty please. What's his link to his channel? If you've got his link, but don't worry about it if you're still ice on your neck. I hope it's feeling better. He's the guy that goes on Benny's channel, isn't it? Isn't he? Labrie? I love you too, Dutchie. And I would love to get Amber's mum and sister. Hang on, I'll find that. I did have that here. It's amazing what information there isn't on the web. Like, I looked into the Janelle Goodwin murder, because obviously she didn't shoot herself, tie herself up and throw herself in a wheelbarrow naked. And you know, there is very little on the internet about it. I couldn't believe it. Like, I understand it was 20 years ago, but other than 2 Australian podcasts, there's bugger all. Until the other day, when this story come up about how the reward had been raised to $1 million, and everything in Google is 2 days old. I would kill for a piece of banana bread. Oh, me too, Jackie Jude. I'm starving. I love banana bread. In the microwave for 20 seconds. Bit of butter. Hey, Betty Joe, Libby is looking for your ass. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, Betty Joe had to do, she had homework. She had to put so many comments in my chat to redeem herself, Elizabeth. Libby's already dealt with her. No, you can't. You cannot hog tie yourself either, Twiggy. Well, I don't know, Jackie Jude, because remember when, Dutchie might know more about that. Remember when Donnie went to jail and everyone was saying, you know, oh, the Subaru, they're going to take it back because they won't, who's going to pay the payments if Donald isn't there to pay the payments? And then that theory come up again that the Subaru had already been paid out in full. So has it been, do they own it outright? Or is it still being paid off? I don't know. Yeah, Betty. Libby had an APB. Out for you, Betty Joe, last night. It was funny. I got visitors towards the end, Libby. I'm so sorry. Like, I can be here for day after day and nobody calls, or comes to visit. But as soon as I'm planning to go live, you can bet everything that either the phone doesn't stop ringing or I then get visitors calling. because I was going to go live yesterday. It's so cute, you girls. But I miss you all when I'm not coming live all the time. But yeah, as I was saying, school went back. So our school holidays in Australia are so much different to you guys. We have 4 school terms of 10 weeks. Yeah, each term is 10 to 11 weeks. So you get 3 lots that are 2 weeks, and then the Christmas summer holidays are 6 weeks. So we get lots of school holidays. It's just been crazy trying to get this eye surgery. They keep rescheduling my appointment and I'm getting mad. I don't blame you, Betty Jo. When I know I've got to have a procedure, it's got to be like right now. I hate sitting around having to reschedule things. Get it over and done with and dealt with. Libby says, don't be sorry, Betty Jo. We just miss your crazy ass. Oh my gosh. It's been crazy in the streets though, hasn't it? But I will be back to being here most days. I know the feeling. I'm waiting for George. Yes, Miss Justice. But you were saying earlier that your jaw pains and ear pain has lessened a bit, so that's good news. It's crazy. I know the hospital systems over here are so backed up, trying to catch up on surgeries from before COVID, and people are in agony, and I always hit the like button on my way in. Oh, thank you, Betty Jo. Yes, I've got to go to the post office this afternoon, guys. So Libby's parcel will eventually get in the mail, and so will Twiggy's. I've just been so slack leaving the house. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just don't want to go anywhere. Well, I go on May 4th for my consultation for the 3rd time in a month. Oh my gosh. That would be so frustrating. And you've got to have surgery too, Dutchie? It's been literally a pain in your neck, Dutch, and your ass. I'm so impressed, Dutchie, that the Centre for Missing and Exploited Children got back to you. How cool was that? Because so many times you hear creators trying to get answers and things, and nobody ever gets back to anybody. But that was really encouraging to know that they rang back and wanted more information, and you're doing a fabulous job, Dutchie. Very, very proud of you. Yeah, me too, Libby. It is horrible to see everyone not well and in pain. Yeah, you two sitting in bed was hilarious. I stink in my bed. I've got one of them overlay things. They're like gel foam, It's like 4 inches thick and it's real mushy. It's like sleeping on a cloud. Like, honestly, I just love it. So have you got cataracts, Betty Jo? If you don't mind me asking. If you don't want to say, it's fine. I was born with congenital cataracts, and they didn't pick it up till I was in 3rd class. And then way back then, they had to wait until the cataract completely grew over before they would remove them. And they did them separately. So with each eye, I was in hospital for like 2.5 months at the age of 9. Crazy. They told me today they want to cut into my brain again and put a sensor. It's supposed to stop the pain. I told them no. They effed up 2 surgeries already. Oh my God. Elizabeth. That is crazy. Yeah, and risky too, I would gather. Putting sensors in your brain. I've heard they do things like that for epilepsy as well. It sounds really scary and risky. Yeah, she is the best supporter and friend. Oh. No, I think it's sweet and cute. I sometimes wish I could jump on the bed as well, don't worry. We can have a pajama party. Damn. Now up in here is going through my head over and over. Oh, wow, Elizabeth. I'm so sorry. Did he really miss justice? I didn't know that. Jerry Lewis had an implant for back pain. And now they can put like little chips in your arm, apparently, that can read, like you have a little external scanner that can scan over the chip for diabetics and tell them what their blood sugars are without having to do all the little blood finger pricks. Like, technology just blows me away as far as things like that. Good Lord, we are all a mess over here. Oh, touch wood. I don't want to be sick. Case Candle, hello. What did I miss? You're at the door with reporter and asking questions. Hang on, I've got to scroll up. Am I behind? I think I missed a previous comment of Kay's. StreamYard chat is such a pain. I can't even see it, Kay. You'd rather do the finger prick? I'm gathering it would be a lot like, you know how they put that little rod in your arm for contraception? Oh, I get you, Kay. You're watching the video. It'll blow your mind. It is crazy. I just really, really, really hope with this $1 million reward that they get someone talking. But I am definitely going to try and track down Amber's mum and or sister and see if they'll come on and talk to us. Can you believe that her daughter was living with those two and they've never spoken a word to Amber's mum? Like, that's so telling right there. Hi, Lawton girl. How are you? Thanks so much for being here. Yeah, I think it was 2 days ago, I shared the news report, Miss Justice, where they've raised Amber Haig's reward from, it was $100,000, and now they've raised it to $1 million to hopefully get someone to talk. Like, if I was Mrs. Gibbs, that guy would be locked up right now and I'd be having the $1 million reward, because she knows as well. Absolutely, she does. Oh, my leg something. Oh, Dutchie, really? It's a spinal cord stimulator used for pain control. Oh, damn it. My neurosurgeon has spoke to me about it, but it has its negative points, so I passed. Yeah, what a decision. I think I'd have to really, really think about it too. You wish you could do that for summer? Yeah, that's one really good thing about Australia. When they have, not all cases, but a lot of cases get amazing rewards offered by the government for information. Remember little Chloe? She was straight up $1 million, like straight away. William Tyrrell's case is still $1 million reward. That's what they want in your brain. I don't know, guys, whether I could or not. I suppose it would have to mentally get to a place where you cannot cope with the pain and function. Like where you get to a point where just do it, I don't care. I need to be pain-free. I know I've felt like that with toothaches when the pain's been bad enough. I'd be interested to know it's working for them if they got it, Libby. Yeah. Yeah. And not care that she has his son because we know it was his and so does she. Absolutely, Kay. Miss Justice says, did you hear the recording of Monkey's mum, Brandy? Not good. No, I haven't, Miss Justice. What was the recording of? And is this like recent? Like today or something? Dutchy says the SCS is about 47 to 74% effective per Boston Scientific paperwork they give me. Wow. Yeah, where is it? More information, Miss Justice, please. So Kay knows about it too. That was not good at all, Miss Justice. Was it 5? I'm really curious right now. If you've got a link, Miss Justice, we will play it. Don't know when it was a recording of her talking to her friend and the kids were acting up and she responded horribly. Oh. Really? How have I not heard that? Yeah, I know it's, I don't know. You don't like to accuse, but everyone's a suspect still in Michael Vaughan's case too. Betty Jo just wants to be able to see her granddaughter better because I watch her while her mama works and I want to be able to take her places and outside and I can't because I can't see good. I get it, Betty Jo. Well, hopefully they sort it out for you ASAP. She's been very upset over the shoes. Oh, that's where she was talking about the glitchy. I was wondering where she was talking about that. Because Dutchy said that Brandy had spoken out about the glitchy shoes situation. Oh my God, it's so crazy, isn't it? Daughter is now a teen, isn't she? Sounded young in the video to me, but and one thing, I don't know, while you're still watching it, Kay, if you're still watching that interview, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Janelle Goodwin that he shot and put in the shed, she was 7 months pregnant as well. I don't think that was emphasized enough either. But 20 years ago, would they have counted that as 2 deaths? Oh, here we go. Hang on, Miss Justice, I've got to go to this one to get the link. So who played it? Harsh Reality. I'll share the link. This is Harsh Reality's channel. This doesn't look good. I'm just going to get the link. Oh, well, Miss Justice just put it in there.
Well, that makes sense because nobody ever told me about Weezer, and they did say a psychic was the only reason they went out with Weezer.
Right.
So any psychic that's sending him in, get the goddamn ass before I whoop you. Get your goddamn ass! How many fucking times do you have to be told? Swear to God, I'm gonna strangle. Take your apple, go sit down and watch Blue, okay? Leave me be. A puppy! Puppy. Yeah, puppy. Yeah, she has. Hi, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi, Bobby. Hi, Buggy. Do you hear my puppy? Yes, puppy.
So, I thought I would do a quick video, an unscheduled one, a little bit of an extra one, a little treat. You've just listened to some audio of Brandy Neal, and I did a video a while ago about the halo slips. Remember that? The halo slips. Jesus Christ, she's growing horns. Sissy Lala, that's what she calls Tyler. He's not allowed to speak. That's what I'm beginning to think. I'm thinking she's got him tied up in some frigging dungeon somewhere. Maybe he wants to tell everyone what happened. Maybe the guilt has got to him. But she won't let him. That's what we'll find out next. Be like a Joseph Fritzl situation. She'll have kept him locked in some sort of shed somewhere. Look what we've got here, look. We've got the old field being watered, and that path there where you see people walking, that actually goes down to the school. But yeah, so we got Brandy Neal. She's gobbing off and threatened to strangle a 2-year-old. It's a 2-year-old little girl. Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean? She's got a child missing. She's dishing out second-hand information because we're not allowed to speak to the person who actually does know what happened. She's lied to everybody. She's threatened to burn down police stations. Why do people support this person? Why do people support this female? It's crazy. It's absolute nuts. Absolute nuts it is. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. Where are you in this case? Because I know it's very different. There's a different kind of tolerance in this case, isn't there, the Michael Vaughan one? And there isn't a massive amount of difference. There isn't a massive amount of difference. You know, what you got, a slightly different education, but they've both got backgrounds of drug abuse. And I'm not saying that that's the main contributory factor, but this mental, it's absolutely crazy. It's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous what one family's getting crucified for, what this other maniac is doing, and getting away with it. She's got a public relations manager who's a criminal who stole money herself, and oh my God, what's going to come out next? Look, I know they're putting posters everywhere, and but what could have...
Nobody ever told me about Weezer, and they did say a psychic was the only reason they went out to Weezer.
Right.
So any psychic that's sending him in, get the goddamn ass before I whoop you. Get your goddamn ass! How many fucking times do you have to be told? Swear to God, I'm gonna strangle. Take your apple, go sit down and watch Blue, okay? Leave me be. A puppy! Puppy. Yeah, puppy! Yeah, she has. Hi, Bobby!
Hi.
Well, that makes sense because nobody ever told me about Weezer, and they did say a psychic was the only reason they went out to Weezer.
Right.
So any psychic that's sending him in, get the goddamn ass before I whoop you. Get your goddamn ass! How many fucking times do you have to be told? Swear to God, I'm gonna strangle. Take your apple, go sit down and watch Blue, okay? Leave me be.
Whoa. Like on one hand, that's, Libby says this is upsetting. Twiggy said it is quite alarming. Yes, she did say that, Elizabeth. She said, I'm going to strangle. Like, I know as a mum, I've probably said, I'll keep going, I'll strangle you in a minute, as in a bigger speech. But yeah, I think because yeah, I know I've said it not like that, but I probably said it. I know I say a lot if someone's annoying the shit out of me in a joking way. I say, I swear to God, I'm going to stab you in a minute, you know, but it's not like that. She will be scrutinized more. Yeah. When was that? Oh, so he's only played that today, 28th of April. Today, guys. Because wasn't there another recording a couple of weeks ago? I never heard that recording either, but and so is Brandy not wanting her partner to speak out to anybody? I didn't know that. Like that's what the harsh reality guy was saying, that Brandy won't let him speak. She still deserves to find her baby and be helped. Yeah, absolutely, Lawton girl. You think Josh is going to be upset because he talked to her? Yeah. But a lot of people aren't what they portray themselves to be. Every day you see the masks come down with so many. Sorry guys, I'm not crazy, just a bit slow. You're fine, Kay. I knew what you were doing. And getting back to Janelle Goodwin being 7 months pregnant, it seems odd to me as well that he killed her during the pregnancy if their scenario of Amber being a surrogate is true. If she was just there to give him a baby, and that was the case with Janelle Goodwin, why did he shoot her while she's still 7 months pregnant? Like, this guy needs to be gone. I don't know where the mum and sister are living right now, but I'm hoping it's still over that way. My parents portrayed themselves as very well-educated and respected people, but no one knew what went on at home. I'm so sorry, Dutchie. There's so many people like that. That's like my incident the other week. Still haven't had a phone call from the police. Like, I still understand that they had a lot going on last week chasing the two carjackers and stuff all over the countryside. But witnessing what I witnessed dropping Layla at school before the school holidays, nothing can justify a grown-ass man jumping out of a vehicle, grabbing a child by the throat and shoving him up against a fence and tell me that, oh, there's history, like the police did. They asked me to go to the police station that afternoon to do the report, give a statement. When I get down there, they tried to blow it all off. They still, to this day, 3 weeks later, have not called me back down there to give my formal statement, and trying to bob it off like, oh, there's history there between the child and the family. Like, no, wrong is still wrong, regardless of anything. It's not okay. It's not right. So apparently this boy was involved in like throwing rocks at this guy's family's house and just been a little shit in the past. And that's the guy that pulled up and grabbed the kid on the side of the road reckoned he was vandalizing a street sign and and just jumped out of his vehicle in the middle of the road, run over and grabbed this young fella by the throat, threw him up against the fence, and the police are fine with it because there's a history. I'm sorry, but it's not fine. And I know they were busy last week, but I'm going back down to find out what's going on. And the guy that did it is a school teacher's wife. So surely he understands that it's probably not a good idea to do shit like that. I was a foster mother for years, heard so many awful stories from my kids. I can imagine Lawton Girl. When hubby and I had only been married a couple of years, my stepsister had 2 sons, and she was into any drug whatsoever she could get her hands on in those days, in a really, really bad state. And we had one of her sons, and my mum had one of her sons, which probably wasn't the greatest idea either. But anyway, yeah, the things that those boys went through whilst in their mother's care was unbelievable. It just blows your mind that, you know, you've grown up as siblings and to watch them parent while being an addict and what they put their kids through. Oh, really, Elizabeth? Oh my God, I don't know how you guys do it. Overworked, so many cases, and the things that you would have to put up with as a case manager of people abusing you. Like we always hear, don't we, over and over every day, how caseworkers are such rotten people and they don't do their job. And there probably are a lot like that, but there would also be so many authentic, genuine ones that want to do and are trying to do the best job they can and virtually live a living hell trying to deal with these families. My youngest son came to my house at 5. He asked me if I had the Chucky movie. His first day at my house. Wow, 5 years old. That is crazy. Oh, thank you, Dutchie. No, don't stress. I'll have to get off here soon too. It'll be time to go and pick Miss Layla up. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you guys because I am going to look into it a lot deeper and try and do some good there. Just makes me so sad and angry. But thank you so much for coming in and spending some of your day with us. Or evening. I know it's nighttime. It's getting late over there. Miss Suzanne hasn't been in here to give us curry either. Libby's probably gone to sleep. Where the heck is T. Riley? I know. Well, she must be around because she commented on that community post I put up yesterday. What is going on with my stupid... My phone is freezing up like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, I'm not going to do a big angry Shazza live about Doug and the goings on. I think every single one of us ladies in here and that will watch on replay feel exactly the same way. I'm just gobsmacked. Hi, KC. How are you, sweetie? I'm on my way home from work driving. Aw. That's where you normally catch me, don't you? When you're driving home. Oh, now she's hungry. Look out. Libby's got the munchies. I need to get snacks organised before I come on. I had a cup of soup, but it didn't help. I'm still starving. Wow, Elizabeth. Well, I told you I opened the home for the young lady with reactive attachment disorder. It was a 6-client home. She now owns her house. That's amazing. Oh, no worries, Jackie Jude. Thank you for coming in. Thank you all for coming in. Do you make your own real strawberry filling to go in there? Yum. Who's doing it, Sharon? I missed that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I just think all the people in his chat, Crime and Justice, I don't know if you come in here anymore, but girl, I'm so... Crime and Justice used to be in here every live when I supported Doug, when he was doing okay. I just got really triggered, uneasy, couldn't do Doug anymore after he did that great big attack on Ziggy when Josh was on his panel and all of that. I just felt like this is not good for me. I can't cope with it. So I timed myself out from going into Doug's lives just because I didn't agree. I didn't like it. Although it sounds hypocritical because I come on here at times and lose my shit as well. But I think there's a difference in calling people out for their actions. There probably isn't a difference. I'm probably just trying to justify when I have a rant and make it sound okay. And it's not. I don't like, and I say it over and over again, I'm not proud of me when I get ugly and I lose my shit at people. It's not okay. But Doug needs help. But especially to you, Crime and Justice, as a woman, as someone that I've spent a lot of time with on my channel, on both of my channels, I can't understand why women are in the chat encouraging, virtually praising him that he's doing great and what he's doing is a good thing. He is paranoid, manic, rambling, crazy right now, and you people cannot see that he needs help. That is concerning. Did you hear how quiet it was when I come out here? There was no noise, was there? I swear to God, you are a maniac. I'm going to send you to Doug. I'm going to ship that bird off to Cow City. I swear to God, guys, every single time. What do you mean, Miss Justice? What happened? He revenge porned. He's on a tangent, which will probably go 4 or 5 days, I'm thinking. I don't know if he's gone live since I've been on, but he flashed up photos of a certain subscriber, ex-mod of her privates, and he has done 2 lives so far, bashing, threatening. And look, I get it. Now the dogs are going to start. Hey, come here. Go find a bird or something. Oh, dear Lord. Shoot me now. You're back again, little doves. I am doing well. I hope you're doing well still. Oh, my God. Twiggy, toasted sandwiches. I'm going to try and do more lives off my phone while I'm cooking. I've moved away from the bird, guys, and now the 2 dogs. I'm sitting on a step, and the 2 little shits are jumping on my back. I'm going to strangle the bird. See? I say it. Not to a 2-year-old, but I say it. Like you wouldn't believe how many times I've wanted and have said in the last 2 days, I'm going to strangle you, Doug. I swear. Stop it. Come here. Hexit. You're not funny. Now they're jumping on my back again. Yeah, I get, that's what I was just going to say, Elizabeth. I totally get that Benny hasn't been doing oh gosh. It's a tricky situation because you know that Benny and Ernie have their banter and their issues, and Benny and Doug have their history. But Benny hasn't even been talking about Doug lately until he started threatening. What's wrong with Doug? I can tell you guys right now what the tipping point for Doug was. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but this is what has tipped him over the edge, in my opinion, only. Just from what I sit back and observe. So, 6 Up did a live last week sometime, and the title was something about boobs being traded for wrenches, and the live was about showing text messages between a subscriber and Doug, where Doug apparently said he would give one of his subs a wrench if she sent him boob pics. And in my opinion, that sub that's always in, she was always in here too. She was a member. No. Now they've come inside. Out. I'm so sorry, guys. It's just a crazy house. We all know her. So she's also a sub, to Benny, and goes in lots of other people's chats, as we all do. But Doug has lumped everybody together into this delusional group and using the past to try in his mind to link everybody together in this mob that he feels is coming for him and trying to get him off YouTube and everything else. But that's exactly what it is. It's a delusional scenario that Doug can't cope with the fact that Benny is doing really, really well by himself. And he now has support and he's changing and people are warm to him now. And Doug mentally cannot cope with it. He cannot stand the fact that Ben is getting, you know, at times I've seen like 2,000 or 3,000 people in a live, and that is eating Doug's core out. He can't get past the fact that the night when the shit went down with him attacking Ziggy, that the repercussions of those actions were negative for him, and he probably did lose a hell of a lot of subscribers. That's when I membered out and backed off because I thought it wasn't okay. And I've been in an abusive relationship many years ago before I was married, and I just couldn't handle it. And I'm sure, as we all know, 95% of the YouTube true crime community are middle-aged women. So it was my choice to not go there. I'd been with Doug and would abuse the living shit out of him. He will tell you. Back in Oran and Awesome West days, I would be in his live mouthing off, telling him to pull his head in to act his age, because he was doing back then what he's doing right now to AV Watchman, to Crenshaw, to LV United. Exactly the same as what he's doing the last couple of days, although he didn't revenge porn anybody. And then he come good, and he was doing so well. And I supported him. I would give him positive feedback all the time, encourage him, tell him how well he was doing, like he got himself somewhere to live, and he was on a good path. But now he's gone way back down to lower than where he was in the Oran and Awesome West case. And what went down in that case, he did himself. And what he's doing right now, he's doing himself. It's nobody else's fault. It's not Josh's fault. It's not Chris McDonough's fault. It's not anybody's fault but his own. And he's got to stop. And please, he talks all the time about getting help for others. Like he had arranged rehab for Don and Candace, and he's offered help to several other people. But he doesn't see the fact that he needs to look at his own advice. And Crime and Justice, you sat on his panel the other night when he was showing the vagina pictures, although you were big enough to turn your camera off at that moment when he showed them. As soon as he finished showing them, you turn your camera back on. And that, to me, is so filthy and so disgusting that you sat on that panel and did not try to advise him to stop, that this is not a good idea? Nothing. And people, women in his chat, praising him, you need to have a good hard look at yourself as well. Because I think you're all pitiful, lonely, bored, needy women. Like, come on now. It's just not okay on any level. And I honest to God hope that charges are brought upon you, Doug, because it's probably the only way you're going to realise exactly what you've done. Oh, it wasn't good, Jackie. It's sickening. Like, I actually felt sick, like I wanted to turn YouTube off and never, ever come back again. Yesterday, I did a community post and tried to get through in a rational message to him to please stop. But who am I? Like, I've got 2,000 subs. Is if he would ever listen to anything I have to say, just stop, Doug. If any of these women do truly care about him, try and get him to have some therapy, get back on his meds. He said yesterday in the morning live when he was at the PD that he stopped taking his PTSD medication because he didn't need it anymore. Clearly he does. Yeah, Betty Jo, I get it. Like, I know they do the back and forth thing, and but when Benny was on his live at the same time the other night streaming, Doug, and Benny kept ringing him over and over again, it was because we knew what Doug's intent was on his live. Doug fully intended to do what he did, and Benny was trying to keep him occupied and trying to prevent him from going that far. And that's why Benny kept ringing him over and over, was trying to derail Doug's live and protect the women that Doug is on this rant about. Yeah, you're right, Lawton girl. Doug's mental illness is in a bad place. But see, he can't see the fact that Josh and Chris McDonough are now friends. They did a live today. It was pretty awesome. Chris suggested that himself and Josh go and have a conversation with Josh's dad in jail, and I had goosebumps all over, and I thought that would be so interesting to hear Chris McDonough chat with Josh's mum's murderer. But Doug can't handle the fact that that relationship with Josh and Chris McDonough is now lost by his own actions, but they're the bad people. And everybody's in a conspiracy against Doug. It's just not good. You should have to delete it. I think he made it private, but the thing is, Miss Justice, as we know with any sort of controversial live. Hi, Leah. How are you? They're recorded as they're live. So it's out there, and yeah, it is like a psychotic break. Elizabeth, I agree. It's last night's one to me was even more intense than the night before with the conspiracy theories. Did anybody watch both of them? He was more paranoid last night and trying to group more creators together that this has been a 12-month long vendetta of people scheming and all this sort of business, where half the creators he's talking about are new creators that have only had channels or been in the Summer Wells community for 6 months or under. You know, it just doesn't, nothing is logical in his accusations. Yeah, last night I had to stop. I couldn't handle anymore. You're probably going to get pissed off on what I'm about to say, but oh well. You're fine, Betty Jo. You can say whatever you feel. Hi, Sharon Butler. How are you? Thank you for coming in. No, we won't be pissed off with you, Betty Jo. I just feel like we can all support whoever we want for whatever reasons we want, and we shouldn't be excluded, shunned, or judged because we might go into a creator that someone else doesn't get along with or doesn't gel with, or for whatever reason they don't want to be associated with. Because we're adults and we can all make up our own minds, in my opinion. Yeah, I did too, Lawton girl. It's just, it's really sad, like, to watch someone spiral so out of control. Like, I've got the same thing happening in real life. And that's why last night's live, I couldn't do it anymore. Because at exactly the same time that I'm watching Doug, most of you that have been here with me for quite a while know my situation with my eldest 37-year-old daughter, who's also an abuser of ice, and she's been in a really, really bad and worsening state for the last 6 months. And yesterday, of all days, with what was going on YouTube, I haven't had a text from her directly in 3 years. And yesterday, just out of the blue, she started sending me text messages that are completely and utterly bizarre and she's spiraling big time, exactly the same way Doug is. And as a mum, I can't do jack shit about anything. Like, it just breaks you inside. There's nothing I can do. She has to make this decision for herself, not for me, not for her daughters. It has to be for her. But if someone can tell me what rock bottom is, when do they get to that point where at 37 I would have hoped it would have happened before now. But we have tried everything under the sun and nothing works ever. No communication makes any sense when it comes from an abuser of drugs. Hugs to you, Sharon, and hugs to your daughter. Thank you so much, Leah. I wasn't going to talk about it, but yeah, my name's Sharon too, Sharon Butler. There used to be a lady that used to come in all the time, and her name was the other Sharon. I haven't seen her for ages, but she said she was going to change her name because I don't know. But yeah, she was lovely. Get close to Summer Case, but that's okay because it's Benny. But now you think Benny has changed his stripes. Well, guess what? A zebra doesn't change their stripes. So if I was everyone, I'd keep a close. I get what you're saying, Betty Jo. I totally understand what you're saying. I think, with Benny's journey, it's like it's like when I watched Doug come out of the Oran and Awesome West case and was doing so good, and I just pray that they both can get into a place where they don't need all the BS, because they're both quite capable of doing good. They just have to not think about each other. And it's the same with Ernie now too. You've got Doug, Ernie, and Benny all having their episodes of ringing law enforcement and doing all the rest of it, and they do all that, but then they can do such great lives on informative, productive, awesome theories and info, and yeah, you get what I'm saying, don't you, Libby? You just sort of got to, well, I think now Benny's trying to do like the informative, productive, informational lives on his Hitman one and the Unplugged, if you will, on his Blood Money channel. So if you don't like the crazy stuff, don't go to his Blood Money one. But if you like the more informative stuff, hi MC Lick Lick Pop. But yeah, it's up to everyone who they go to, who they support. Do you have your own page you think just like me? Really? Welcome, MC Lick Lick Pop. I've never seen you before, but welcome. Thanks for coming in. Look, I can guarantee you guys, and I see this all the time, that what Betty Jo's saying, you see someone on their live, but then behind the YouTube doors, they're such a different person. But I can guarantee you, if I had a live webcam going that I didn't know about, this is exactly who I am all the time. But yeah, I know what you're saying too, Betty Jo. People, but do you know who I think the real, well, I can say that, but then I think in my situation it might be different too. You know, when we can shift personalities, let's say it like that. So when Benny's sitting in the garage and Mama Keys comes out and has a cigarette with him when he's on a live, you can see what his personality's like around his mum, which to me is sort of, well, that's who he is, while mum's sitting there. And it depends who you're around, what you're talking about. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't get it out, what I'm trying to say. I'm not giving anyone a pass. I think we can all learn every single live to have more respect for our chats and appreciate our mods and appreciate every single sub that comes in to be with us. And not just have an attitude that if a particular sub doesn't like what we're saying, they can just fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you fucking in here. Like the way some people carry on and speak to their chat, I don't know how they have anybody in their chats at all. It makes me feel uncomfortable for that sub when they're getting yelled at by creators and things like that, and the never-ending hate. And how can some of these creators that go for subs and go for each other really, really have the amount of guttural hate that comes out of their mouths in a virtual setting? If someone can explain that to me, I would be grateful. Because that part of it, I do not understand. I can have, not that I've got any enemies in real physical life, but you would think the degree of hate that these people have would have to be someone that you initially cared about. It just does not equate normal to me. I wish someone would say that to me, because I'll go right back the same way you come at me. That's who I am. I get it. I love you. I love who I love and can separate my feelings. Yeah, but like even as a sub, Elizabeth, I can go into a chat and I do not want to type in the chat, because I know that if I do, because I'm not one of these ones that I don't go in and out of channel names and stuff or change my name. I like to always own who I am. So I'm always Down Under Crime Talks. Although, guys, I had a thought last night about changing the channel name. I'm still conflicted on whether to do it or not. But I thought it has to be, because not all lives we sit here and talk crime, as most of you know. But I wanted it to have something to do with fabric. And tomorrow I'll show you the latest fabric purchases. But how about we call it fabricated crime? It was just a thought. Yeah, I think that's a great trade, Elizabeth. To agree to disagree. Oh, Libby, you're still here. Thank you. Hi, the real Gigi. How are you? It's great to see you. I sound like Libby now. I'm singing. Libby hasn't been singing much, though. Libby, you need to do a live, and like your old lives where you'd come on and sing and do roll call and stuff. Although did you do roll call yesterday? Because I was a bit late. You think it's a good name, Leah? Fabricated crime? I still don't want to part with my logo that Ethel made for me, though. I still love it. I love your name in that one too. Thank you, Sharon Butler. Oh, I missed you too, real Gigi. I've missed everybody. Libby would probably mad at me, but I'm sorry, you know we can agree to disagree, right? No, I do not think Libby will be mad at you. Well, I'm bad. You need to give me some lines as well now, Libby, because I was late to your live. I think I'm going to move the birdcage, guys. Yeah, I know, the real Gigi. I messaged Griffey last night and I was like, girl, I've been thinking about this name change thing. I said, what do you think about fabricated crimes? And she messaged me back in capitals, brilliant. And although I like it, I just don't think I could get used to going in to chats and people not calling me Down Under. Do you know what I mean? No, we're not mad, Betty Jo. Never. Yeah, I thought it was, maybe I'll call the second change the second channel that I've done nothing with for 2 months. Maybe I'll change, because it's called Criminal Intent. Maybe I'll change it to Fabricated Crime instead. And Monday, my time, we're doing another road trip to the patchwork shop. And we need to get us some more fabric. I guessed that name, Sharon. Did you? Really? Miss Justice, did you really guess that? I swear to God. I don't want to say I'm going to strangle him again. Oh, Betty Joe. We know that. Oh, they're good. The real GG. I think they've been back into their gaming again because they're mad gamers. And I think it's YouTube. What if I just open the door and let the little shit out? I swear to God. Yeah, so I think they've just been trying to stop, to spend a bit of time away from YouTube. And I get that because I've been like it lately heaps too, but I'm back on track. And another thing, lately it's been really hard to try and go live because no matter what time you think you're going to go live, something else is going down and someone else is live, and before you know it, the day's gone. Do not release the birds. Oh, I get so tempted. Oh, good night, Libby. Thanks so much for sticking around for so long. I really appreciate you. And I'll send you a tracking number. I've got progress photos to put up of this hand one I'm doing right now, the roses one. It's a hand. I put photos up a couple of weeks ago. So I think I'm going to do all the members this new design because it's absolutely gorgeous. Love you, Lib. But yeah, that's my plan going forward is in my perfect little world, I would love to not have any hate rants and try and get along with absolutely everybody. Because it is just not worth the heartache. You did guess it. You are so clever, Miss Justice. For now, I'm going inside and I'm not going to let the bird out, but tomorrow might be a different story. He's a little bugger, I swear. Yeah, I just think it makes you feel better in your heart if you can get past ugly. Stop screen. Am I still sharing a screen? I was. No, the real GG says no. What are you saying no for, Miss GG? I'm missing comments. Stitching Crime. There's another creator. She usually comes in and her channel's called A Stitching Crime. And I noticed a couple more the last couple of weeks. There's another one that's called Stitching, Bitching and Crime. But at the end of the day, I've got to be able to let go of Ethel's awesome logo and getting used to being called another name. And I don't know if I can do that. See, now my chat's just gone crazy again. Not sharing a screen. Oh, that's good. I'm with you now because the chat just jumped up. There's a bit of a lag there. My neighbour has the loudest bird named Linda. Linda is such a pain in the ass. Oh my God. Is it a cocky, Jackie Jude? I called it heard say by the end of the third day. I like sidebar too. Yeah, it just makes you feel better when you're not fight. Like, that's just me. I just don't want to be fighting and being horrible, and it just makes me feel anxious. And please think over the snitches get stitches name. That's a cool name. Ethel, where have you been? Sorry for yelling. I'll make you another one if need be, beautiful. Oh my God, Ethel. You are so gorgeous to me. But look at my logo. I just love it. Like, I really do. It's great to see you though, Ethel. I miss you. Little city. Oh my God. You guys. Who's been? I know a few of you have said they're not into the Johnny Depp trial. But Amber Turd's the word to me. You're lurking. She's ghosting us, guys. Well, she was. Now we know she's here. That's awesome. Oh, I'm glad we fulfilled your driving trip home, Casey. Snitches get snitches get stitches and go down under. Oh my God. I love it. Yeah, because it makes me sad. Like, can you guys remember not that long ago, before the end of the marathon, what our little community was like? Before everything went to shit. Oh my God. Do you know what, the real Gigi? I was mortified when Maleficent brought that out because firstly, I didn't understand what I'd done that was so dirty to warrant that video. And I was just a bit confused. But no doubt with my big mouth, I've said something that Maleficent didn't like. And I was so worried that my daughter or granddaughter would come across it. So I never told any fam about it at all. And then about a month ago, Shelby and I were mucking around one night, messaging each other. Shelby's the youngest daughter. and she has the same sort of personality as me, and we're very much alike. She's a Pisces as well, and we have the same sense of humour. And I was past being embarrassed by that little video, so I got the link to Maleficent's Riding Dirty video and sent it to the daughter, and my daughter was like hysterical, laughing her ass off. And she said, "Why would someone do that to you, Mum?" And I just said, "Oh, I think she's just being funny." And yeah, I still to this day haven't shown hubby though. He would probably get a bit shitty about something like that, but yeah, Shelby thought it was absolutely hilarious. And now I can sit back and have a laugh about it. But at the time I was just confused and like, oh my God, I hope nobody ever sees this. Can we see it? Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. Although when I search for Maleficent, it never ever, she's got me blocked again. I think, so with Maleficent, not that she'll probably come in here and hear this, but we went through that period where I was riding dirty, and I think it's got something to do with the fact that I said Maleficent was Scooby-Doo that passed away, but indeed it's not Scooby-Doo, it's Scooby-Doo's daughter. Okay, so I think that's where and why I got a bit of shade from Maleficent. Anyway, we got past that, and I was in crafting through the lives chat like I am most lives, and Maleficent would be in there, and when crafting would click on her chat thing like this and the chat changes on the screen, I could see Maleficent, but in the chat I couldn't see her. So I would ask Maleficent in the chat, "Why have you blocked me?" And crafting would put my comment up there, and Maleficent kept repeating that she hadn't blocked me. Okay, and then miraculously, a couple of days later, I could see her again, and it was all good. And then remember when Tiffany come for me about 6 weeks ago and went off a tree, and AB got involved, and it was when Tiffany lost her shit when I went into her chat, because I was just like, oh, let's move forward. Let's get over our historical bullshit and be adults. But Tiffany Marie didn't want that and decided to do another 2 lives after that one, abusing the shit out of me and telling me how old and ugly I am and etc. etc. Instantly, I can't see Maleficent again. And that makes me sad that some people in general that I'd been chatting to every day and didn't have a problem with, and they were always nice to me, and then soon as Tiffany did her rant, I'm back on the hate list again. And that's disappointing that you see people in her chat. Hey guys, I've got a question for you. One of the main culprits in that live of Tiffany Marie's, who had been in 6UP's lives quite frequently, and I had been chatting with in Six Up Lives. The guy's name was Mr. Fuck You Mean. He spoke to me in every live. But in the live where Tiffany and Marie called me and Penny out and lost her shit, Mr. Fuck You Mean was in the chat with all the insults and fucking nastiness you could believe. And that was that. Can you believe that shit? And that's the side of YouTube that gets me when I have these feelings of not wanting to go live. It's because people behave in that way. If I've legitimately done something to you that is so bad and there's a reason for it, I have no problem. But if you're just going to suddenly hate me and I'm physically the ugliest person you've ever seen because I have a bridge on my nose where my glasses sit and I need to shave my mustache, that's fucked up to me. That your opinion can change just because you're sucking up to the creator's ass, this chat that you're in at that minute. You know, that's the side of YouTube that I really wouldn't mind saying goodbye to. And you see it over and over and over again. If you can't have your own mind and just not be, and we hear this every day too, part of the echo chamber, then you're really, really sad, in my opinion. So subs shouldn't take sides, especially when they don't know the behind the scenes and it's not about them. Yeah. I don't know, people, the way I work, you have to do something to me for me to not like you. I'm not going to stop liking you because one of my friends don't like you, because that's high school. That's just the way I am. But yeah, that side of it is really sad, that people feel like they have to just agree, you know. And creators know that if they turn on someone, there's going to be a domino effect, because the majority of that chat is going to dump that person like a red hot brick. And it's true. It happens. I'm lucky, like extremely lucky now, if I get 300 views. And I'm fine with it. Like, I, honest to God, am not here for views. I am here because I enjoy the majority of chatting with everyone. And I like my channel. I don't know, it's just 98% of the time it makes me really, really uplifted when I finish a live and I think, oh my God, I just loved that. I don't know why I get anxious, like I'm all happy. And then if I haven't been live for a couple of days, I will get anxious and think, oh, nobody, like I'm not professional like everyone else, and I don't do this like everyone else, and I tell myself, don't be so stupid, you know? It's a soap opera. Yeah, it's a bit crazy sometimes. But I know I get shitty with people too at times, but it's normally for a good reason. I don't always agree with creators' behavior, so I go about my business and chat where I want, but I'm not going to bash them for it. Yeah. I think we all need to just chill and not get so heated, or try not to get so heated. Yeah, I can't not be me, the real Gigi. That's sort of where I'm going with it. I know I'm not going to be perfect all the time, but when I'm not perfect, I'll own it 100%. You thought I'd given up soaps long ago, jeez. Guys, I've got to go. I've got to go and pick up this child from school. But I've had the best time. And thank you, everybody who's been in here. I really, really do appreciate you. You better go live tomorrow. If you don't, I'm going to leak the titty pictures. Oh my God. That is gold, Jackie Jude. I love that. Just don't bring real life into it, because that's crazy. You shouldn't have to go real life on someone just to get views and likes. It's disgusting. I know, Betty Joe. And I think why some people are getting so crazy with it is because they start getting used to a certain amount of income coming in. And we all know the creators that do it as their living and their bread and butter and their everything. So when it starts going downwards, that is their real life, so they have to keep up to a certain standard because it's how they live. I totally understand that. But it's maybe there needs to be more self-reflection on why things are not, and it goes in waves. It really does. But yeah, I agree. You shouldn't have to go that far. It's really, really bad. And it's not going to end well. Like you see it over and over again. But I love you all so much. And I will give Layla hugs. Oh my God, guys. A little bit of a Layla moment. She won't mind me telling you. So I've dropped her at school this morning. They're allowed to have their mobiles at high school, but obviously not in class. So I've dropped her at school at 8:30, come home, made me coffee, get the smokes, go out the back to the back porch to have me coffee and smoke. And she texts me and she said, "Oh my God, Nan, guess what?" And I said, "What?" And she said, "Beth, who is her stepmom, is having another baby." And I said, "Oh my God, that's awesome. How exciting." So Layla texts me back and she goes, "What do I say?" And I said, "What do you mean? What do you say?" And she said, "What do I type back to her?" And oh my God. I said, "Just say, congratulations. I'm so excited. Love you." I just couldn't believe that Lay was like asking me how to reply to a stepmom about the news. And she said, "Okay, I'll just type that." And I said, "Okay, great job." So I'll let you know tomorrow. And yeah, I just sat here with the biggest smile on my face because she's such a cutie. And we had Miss Georgia over the school holidays too. She had a great time with Aussie customer. I always watch you, Sharon. Was thinking of you today with my Aussie customers. They are flying back on Friday. Yeah, all the borders and international travel, everything's open again. It's awesome. Yeah, you take care too, Twiggy. Too cute. It really was cute. And I'll be back tomorrow, guys. And we'll talk about anything I can find out about little Amber, our case, our local case, and we might do some fabric and show and tell. But I love you all and thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night or afternoon. Bye. And broadcast.